Hi everyone, happy new moon in Leo. Mercury is now direct. Venus is really helping us heal right now as it's trine Chiron, as it is square with Uranus, as the moon is conjunct with Venus. There's a lot of emotions that we are feeling. There's a lot of things that are coming up. If you still feel a little wonky in the next couple of days, it's okay. We're getting used to Mercury being direct again, and being able to set your intentions tonight with the new moon. You can do this ritual anywhere between now and August 8th. So, and August 8th is the Lionsgate portal. You only have to do the ritual once. I'm going to show you an abbreviated version. I've already kind of got it started here, so it doesn't take a really long time, so we can actually get a reading in as well. You're going to want to get your smudging stuff, whether it's sage or Palo Santo wood. You want to get some tea lights. Anything that can float in the water, lights that can float in the water. Now, also, I do want to say that your ritual does not have to be perfect. If you don't have all the things, don't worry about it. Like if you need to get dandelions instead of using flowers, like I have carnations and Peruvian lilies. But if you have just one flower, you can take the petals off and put the petals in the water. I suggest using your favorite crystals or any crystals that align with your chakras. But again, doesn't have to be perfect. The bowl doesn't have to be clear. I'm only using a clear bowl so you guys can kind of like see what's going on in here. But you also want to have little pieces of paper where you write one word, and you can, I would say, like do up to 20, maybe not any more than 20, because you don't want to like overwhelm your bowl of blessings, if you will. So just make sure. And you don't have to have, like I am using 6 different crystals. I'm using my jade, my black tourmaline, my moonstone, my amethyst, my dark purple amethyst, my fluorite, and I've got the fluorite and the rose quartz out. If you want to Google certain crystals and how they manifest, you can do that as well. Totally up to you. Make the ritual your own. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I do want to say that I loved it with the eclipse ritual where you guys sent me the pictures of your ritual. If you would do that again for me, that would be really fantastic, because that was wonderful. If you send them, direct message them to me on Instagram, I'm Fearless Intuition 1111 on Instagram. I really appreciated it. I put them all in my stories. It was wonderful. It was great collective energy to put out there. So this new moon, you want to, the intentions and the manifestations that you're setting for this new moon is all about what's in your heart space and what it is that you feel like you want to manifest into your life in a form of love, a form of healing, or just a form of joy and happiness for you. You could even write joy and happiness on these. Like whatever it is that you want to manifest into your life, even if you have that in your life right now, like I put success and clarity and wisdom, health. I put a house because we're in the process of manifesting a new place to live, and it's going to be one of those. It's like I want to have a place that I can just be like, it's perfect for the family, right? It's a dwelling from the heart space more than anything. But this is really all about the things that you've learned about yourself and how you've healed those things, and the intentions and the manifestation that you want to bring in because of all the things that you've healed. So what you're going to want to do first, you will, okay, so we have the okay, so I just want to make sure I have all of the stuff for you guys. The clean water in the bowl. We have the flowers, whatever flower that you want to use, nothing in particular. The crystals, whatever I'm using specific crystals that I have sitting next to me all the time. They have meaning to me. Most of these most of the crystals that I use during these rituals, somebody else gifted them to me. And so they already hold a lot of manifestation qualities and intentions that I set. And then I have my tea light candles. I would prefer you use white. I think I already said that, but white helps manifest things. Black is about releasing and letting go. I just have this on because it smells delicious. So that's why I have it sitting there. Okay. So what we're going to do, and I have my phone right here. So if I'm looking down, it's at my notes that I have in my phone. Okay, so here, I'm actually going to do the sage because it lights much faster. It burns faster. Okay, so you're going to cleanse yourself. And I would say as you're cleansing your aura, I cleanse myself with love and light from the universe. Release all of my fears. Bring in all of my desires. Open up my heart space. Okay. And again, abbreviated. I'd like for you to spend some time cleansing your aura. And each of these steps, I'd like for you to really spend your time in. Man, that's going to bring a lot of smoke over here. Okay. And then what you're going to do is take each of the crystals that you have. And I already did that for the ones that I put in here. And one by one, I want you to put them in between your palms, right? And just set the intention that your energy, you can close your eyes and keep your eyes open. I would suggest having some kind of music going on in the background. I'm surprised I don't have music going on in the background right now. Just set the intention that your energy goes into the crystal. You'll know when your energy is in the crystal when it gets warm in your hand or you start to tingle. It starts to tingle a little bit. And I would like to, even if you would like to say something like, I'm relaxed and settled into my life as I put my energy into this crystal. I trust that everything is in divine time and divine order, and everything is unfolding to my highest good. Okay. So you're going to do that for for all of them, all of the crystals that you have. Okay. And you'll have the water or the flowers or the flower petals into the water, and you can swirl it around. And then I want you to put each of your pieces of paper that you wrote on. Here, I actually have one that says love over here too, which I missed. So there's one that says love, and you'll put it sitting upright so you can actually see the piece of paper. Okay. And then you will put each of the candles, the tea candles, into the bowl. I like using 3. And then as you set your intention, or as you light your candles, I want you to set your intention again. That you are relaxed into divine timing. You are relaxed into your life. You know that everything is unfolding for your highest good. And then I like to do something where I close my eyes and I'll put my hands around the bowl and I call my power back to me. So I'll close my eyes and I'll say 3 times, I call my power back to me now. I call my power back to me now. I call my power back to me now. And then I finish it off by saying, I am safe. I am loved. I am whole. Okay? And I will also put this up in the stories on Instagram as well and kind of show you um, the beginnings of it, like everything spread out and stuff like that. So if you have any questions on what to do, I'll put it in the stories and I'll put it on my feed so you guys can see that. And of course, if you have any questions, you can DM me, you can ask me anything. Just make sure that this is something that is very heart-centered for you, and allow yourself to really, really feel and setting the intention. And then so what I'm actually going to do is I'll probably do this ritual again later tonight, but because I've already kind of started it, and I'm going to set this up here back on my counter, so you'll actually see that during the readings today. And I'm just going to let the candles burn until they're gone. So I set the intention into the universe. I'm going to let the candles burn until they're gone. Please, please, please be careful if you are using, like with all the fire stuff. Please be careful with all the fire stuff. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and clean up a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll do a new moon in Leo reading. I'll be right back. Maybe I should have taken a drink after I unpaused it or before I unpaused it. All right, so the last couple of days have been really interesting with the dark moon, with Cancer, the moon being in Cancer, and it was the dark moon. I don't necessarily know if it was emotional for me. I heard that it was emotional for a lot of people. Usually when the moon is in Cancer, it's a pretty emotional time. So make sure that you, and I say this all the time, but please make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You're listening to your feelings. You're listening to your body. You are allowing yourself to heal when needed, sleep when needed. Don't overdo it. Don't push yourself too far, too fast, too hard right now, because when you overdo it, when you overextend yourself and you overdo it, like I have a hard time, and the reason why I say this is one of the things that I've really had to work on this year for myself is learning how to take care of myself, even though like give my energy to other people, but take care of myself too. First and foremost, I have to remember to take care of myself, because I've always been a person that gives and gives and gives and gives and gives. And I was not replenishing my own energy. I wasn't giving back to myself in a way that I should have or needed to. And so this year, I'm really, really learning how to do that and how to accept that it's okay for me to take time, like a timeout or a break. And yesterday was one of those times. It was sort of an impromptu thing. And the funny thing is like most, like through the beginning of the day, when like as the migraine was setting in, I was like, oh, I've got so much to do. I have all these general readings to get out, blah, 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 blah. And then my higher self kept on telling me, those general readings are going to get out whether you are feeling good. You know, you have to be, you know, you need to be on your game. You need to be at your best to be able to get those general readings out. And so I had to keep on reminding myself that because I work with energy all the time, so even I have to remind myself. And part of that is from the programming that I had my entire life, where it was like hustle, 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 right? All the time. If you're not hustling, if you're not working really hard and you're not hustling, then you're not getting anywhere. You're not doing anything with your life, and you're not doing this and you're not doing that. So yes, 8 of Swords. And I know that a lot of you feel very trapped at the moment. A lot of you feel like you're not entirely sure what you're supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to be going next, or why you are in the place that you're in. Like, why am I so miserable right now? Why do I have to go through all of this? What is this? What is this worth it? Is this worth all the pain? Is this worth all the stress? Is this worth all the, you know, heartache? And then we have the Chariot, which is guiding us forward. This is all about your soul's growth. The Chariot is about guiding you forward. And even if you don't know where you're going, allowing yourself, allowing yourself to see. We have the so we have two cards here where the person is blindfolded. The Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords. Somebody asked me what this card deck is. This is the Fate Shifters Tarot. It is really uncommon. I actually had a client of mine get it for me. And they got it off of Etsy. I actually ordered it, but they got it for me. So neither here nor there for the details. But yeah, so it's very rare. I think there's only like 30 decks that are made right now, honestly. So yeah, it's the Fate Shifters Tarot. It's based off the Rider-Waite. It's beautiful. But yeah, so Etsy, if you would like the Fate Shifters Tarot. So Two of Swords, and so I feel like just because you don't know where you're going right now, that's kind of testing your faith in all of this, and setting your intentions and doing the ritual for the full moon, even if you're not entirely sure what it is that's coming up in your future, or what it is what intentions you want to set. If you don't know what to write on those little pieces of paper, then write on the paper whatever's best for me, whatever the universe whatever the universe wants to bring into my life, whatever God, whatever my higher self wants for me, stuff like that. That's why I always suggest to people to meditate for a good 10 minutes before writing your intentions down, because you want your higher self and your intuition to speak to you when it comes to that. So then I also have the Nine of Wands, I have the Nine of Pentacles, and I have the Hermit. The Nine of Wands reminds us, if you look at that card and you'll see like how battered and bruised he is. The Nine of Wands card reminds us of how much we've already been through and how far we've already come. And the Nine of Pentacles reminds us how abundant we really are. All on our own, too. Like, do you really need to have all of the extra stuff? Or can you be abundant on your own? And then we have the Hermit, who is the wise teacher. And if you don't see the abundance that you have, if you don't see all of the things that you've already been through, the battles that you've already been through and pushed yourself through, become the Hermit. What does the Hermit do? The Hermit goes to the top of the mountain, gets his information directly from source, brings it back down, and teaches all the people. The wise teacher. And I think the reason why you're in an Eight of Swords state and a Two of Swords state is because there are some things that you don't necessarily want to see. And both of these are flanking the Chariot, which is your soul purpose. The Chariot is driving us in a way that sometimes we just don't understand. We just don't get it. So it makes sense why you're blindfolded. It's almost as if, do you not want to see how far you've come? Are you unwilling to see just how far you've come already? Because it's easier to play the victim and be like, oh, I have so far to go, and whine about it, right? And I'm kind of throwing shade. Let's be real. I am throwing shade a little bit, but some of us need to have that shade thrown. Are you whining about not being where you think you're supposed to be right now? Or are you letting the universe guide you through it? Are you being honest with yourself on the path that you're taking? Or are you still being groomed for this path? And therefore you're being forced to see where you're going and where you've come from. Because sometimes we have to be forced to see where we've come from, to be honest with ourselves on where we're going. So let's see what this Eight of Swords is. And this makes a lot of sense. The Three of Pentacles, because the Eight of Swords is an imprisonment of your own mind, of your own making. She can get out of those swords at any moment. She's not even tied very tightly. She can take that blindfold off anytime she wants to. She's not really a prisoner. Just in her own mind she is. And the Three of Pentacles on the Eight of Swords, if you're so worried about where to start, like where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? If you're so worried about where you start, take the blindfold off and see what's actually in front of you. If you're worried about what you're building or where you're going, take the blindfold off and see where you've come from and see how far you've already come. Let's see what this Chariot action is. Seven of Cups. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going, though. I don't know where I'm going. There's so many opportunities. There are so many things to do. I don't even know where I'm going. And this is where all of that Chiron energy that's going on, and this, you know, all of this is going to be happening all week, right? And probably up until about the 8th of August, give or take a few days, up to the Lion's Gate. Setting the intention to find clarity and to find wisdom was on purpose for what I did. Because I don't know best. And the only way that I'm going to know what I'm doing and where I'm going and not be in a Seven of Cups state of mind is if I get it directly from source, right? I mean, I am a Virgo, but I still have a hard time being a hermit. So I'm a true hermit, not the pretend hermit that just likes to binge watch Netflix and not go anywhere and not leave the house. Even though you don't know entirely what's in store for you, you can still have faith and you can still take off the blindfolds, because I feel like there's a decision, and the problem is any decision that you're making right now, there is a very real chance that you might regret the decision that you made. Doesn't mean that it was wrong. It means that you're learning a lesson. But if you dwell on making that decision or not making that decision out of fear of regret, I guarantee you not making a decision is going to be worse than deciding to move forward. See what you still have in front of you. It doesn't have to be so hard. There are some very real decisions that are coming up right now in order to heal you. One of them, some of them might be really, really confusing. And I do feel like we get so wrapped up in, well, I could do this, or I could do this, 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 I could do this. Instead of closing your mind off, shutting your eyes, closing your mind off and saying, what is it that I really want? What is it that I really need? And listening to what your higher self actually has to say about it. You know? So, let's see what this Nine of Wands, because I feel, oh yes. See? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The cards are amazing. The Nine of Wands. You can look into your life now and see how far you've come. See where you've come from. See how that guy's like looking back at those 8 wands. He's like, damn, what a battle. That was crazy. And you can either see how this Two of Swords is showing up in these 2 cards here, the 10 of Cups or the 10 of Swords. Everything that comes to an ending is actually a new beginning for you. Everything that every chapter that has to close out in your life is actually a new beginning for you. So for you to dwell on closing out chapters in your life so you can start new beginnings, for you to dwell on that and be like, but I'm going to miss it so much, you have to understand that you're making room for something bigger and better to come in. And if you say, but Betsy, I don't want bigger and better, I want this thing, then you're also realizing or recognizing that whatever that thing is that you want isn't good enough for you, because bigger and better is good enough is more than good enough. You deserve the best. You don't deserve mediocre. There's a difference between knowing what we want and knowing what's best for us. Okay? 9 of Pentacles. And it may be really hard to close out those endings, but I guarantee you that 10 of Cups is going to show up right behind it. Guarantee it. And how do I know that? Because you worked really, really hard to get there. Be very discerning right now. The Queen of Swords on the 9 of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords is very truthful, very honest, very forthright, very discerning. She knows what she wants. And what she wants is to be abundant. So, and you don't have to be a woman to have the Queen of Swords qualities. You can be a man. You don't even have to be an air sign. I come out as the Queen of Swords all the time. Yes, I'm a Libra rising, but I have less air in my chart than I do earth and fire. And in order for you to figure out exactly what it is that you're trying to bring into fruition, trying to manifest with the universe, you have to realize that it's already yours, right? The King of Pentacles on the Hermit. It's really interesting because the King of Pentacles is also extremely wise. It's very, the Hermit represents Virgo. The King of Pentacles actually represents Taurus, but because it's an earth sign, it has a lot of the same qualities. If you need to take some time to just be quiet, kind of like what I did yesterday, and be with yourself in order to know exactly where you're headed or where you need to go or what you need to do in order for you to be abundant, in order for you to be discerning, then do it. Just be on your own for a little bit. It's okay. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world for you to take a time out, And then we have the 7 of Swords, the Lovers, and the 4 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. It's very interesting because I feel like some of you don't believe that you can have it all. And here's the reason why you don't believe that you can have it all, because you keep trying to manifest a particular thing and it keeps it falls away, right? There's no follow through with whatever you're trying to manifest. And the reason why there's no follow through is because that thing that you're trying to manifest is not right for you. It's not supposed to happen. So you think that you're unlucky, or you think that you're not able to make great things happen in your life, or you think that you aren't allowed to be happy or something like that. And that's not the case at all. if you keep on trying and trying and trying and trying to make something happen or fix something in your life over and over and over again, because that's really what you want to do, and maybe it's not even what you want to do, but it's what you think you have to do in order to fix this over and over and over again, you will continue to be miserable and you will continue to regret making decisions. And then you won't see that when you did start to manifest certain things in your life, just because it was really inconvenient for you at the time, it didn't come into fruition because you weren't ready. You were still holding on to a lot of stuff that you had to let go of. And that can be very, very confusing. And I feel like that's what the cards are sort of saying here is if you're holding on to a lot of stuff instead of releasing it into the universe and saying, all right, I get it. I'm not in charge here. I'm going to stop trying so hard. I'm going to stop forcing things to try and work in my favor. Because some of you really are trying to manifest that one person in your life or that one relationship in your life. And you feel extremely deceived because it hasn't happened yet. Or you don't feel like it's ever going to happen. And that's because you're holding on to an idea of the way you think it's supposed to look or the way you think it's supposed to go. And there's so much more to it than just being in union with another person. Because I guarantee you, even when you're in union with that person, or even when you come into union with that person, it's not going to be a fantasy world. It's not going to be love and light all the time. You're still going to have issues that come up and all of that, right? So I feel like some of you are even lying to yourself on what this relationship could even look like. You have a particular idea. And sometimes those ideas come from social media and what other people are showing you and how amazing their lives are, how amazing their relationships are. I want to say that I feel like social media, even though I am on Instagram and I am on Twitter and I am on YouTube, social media can be a huge distraction when you're trying to manifest things into your life. So you really have to get to the heart of the matter, and you have to allow Source, God, the universe, to come in and have enough space and room to work in your life. So remember that when you're manifesting stuff with this new moon in Leo, it's all about the heart center. It's all about what it is that is going to be good for your growth and be good for you long term and your happiness, and allowing yourself to do that through healing is huge right now. Huge. Okay. Today is the last day to order anything off of my website to be put in the raffle to win this actual necklace that I am wearing. It's a handmade sterling silver spiral pendant, black tourmaline. If you have placed an order on my website, even just getting an extended reading, the $5 extended readings for love readings, that has put your name into a raffle. I will be picking the name and the confirmation number. The confirmation number is your order number, whatever order number you made. So I'll be picking the name and the order number tomorrow. It will probably be around, and I'm going to do it live. So it'll probably be around like 11-ish, 11 a.m. Central. I'll put an announcement on my community page. Might even put an announcement in the stories on what time I'll be doing that. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful new moon ritual. And make sure that you're sending me the pictures for your new moon ritual on Instagram, Fearless Intuition 1111. DM me, send me those pictures. If you send me the pictures, they'll end up in my story. So if you don't want me to put them in my story, please put a note saying don't put them in your story. Don't make this public. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and share them. I love you all. Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you for the general readings. Bye.